everybody, I am getting ready for a workshop out at the Playford Library, and I thought I'll switch the camera on because the workshop is to make a little handmade book. This is my sample. I haven't quite finished it. It's based on this old one that I made a couple of years ago. As you can see, I just use it for notes. I just cross it out when I've finished, all that sort of thing. And I actually called it I used to call it my Harry Potter book because it reminded me of those books. I've got this lovely Sizzix old style die. I'll just grab it and show you. Seconds. Got them in alphabetical order. You think I could find them really quickly. Hinges. Here it is. Okay. So it's still a Tim Holtz early one. I don't even know if you can still buy them, but I've actually used this one a fair bit. It is called I don't know if you can read that. Hardware Findings. And it's got this awesome, I don't know, what do you call that across there? It's not the latch. It's not really a hinge. Well, this decorative piece, a lovely keyhole and a key. And then I just ran it through I think it was a damask embossing folder just to give it that old metal look. The brads really finish it off. And anyway, I was talking to one of the librarians, and I must have pulled it out of my bag to make a note of something, and she goes, "Oh my God, I love that." I went, "Well, I can teach it for a class if you like." And she goes, "Yes, please." So that's what we're doing. So I have to redo it from scratch because, of course, this was some handmade paper I found in my stash. I thought, what can I do? What can I do? Well, in this age of recycling, I thought, let me just pop that to one side. And you can go over there as well. I thought, well, how about we turn the shopping bags into pretend leather. Now, it's not quite as raised as my really thick handmade paper, but it's got a pretty good look. And I've used, can I reach up there? My Inca Gold, just to smush across it, because of course once I glued it down onto my covers, it flattens back out again, and you can't catch the wrinkles in with the gold. So I'll probably have to do this again. That's hence why I haven't stuck the book block into the book yet, ready to go. Anywho, I thought I'm kind of halfway through doing these. I thought, I'm going to tell you what I've done, and I'm going to show you the next steps on. This is a slow process, which is one of the reasons I can't do it in the class. So they'll have to, take my word for it. I've got some little offcuts left over from cutting up these, and they can have a go at doing the first part, but it has to dry overnight. So what have I done so far? Well, obviously I've cut up the bags. So let me cut a bag up. Now there's a little bit of wastage because, of course, I did try to undo this, but they're pretty well stuck, as you would expect, because otherwise our groceries would all fall out. So I did try and do it with my trimmer, but it's just too awkward. So I just trimmed off, oops, that bottom fold, turned it over, the other fold. How is everybody today? It's, you can see I've got my hoodie on again. Yes, it's cold and it's raining. It's, right, so I've taken that off. I'm going to put the sides out so that I can cut across here. Now, this, see how it's really, really glued. So, can't be used for this, but you could use it for, just keep the pile of them and use it for glue paper and stuff before you throw it out. I mean, and they're already recycled paper, so we're giving them extra life. And the other thing you have to cut off is, because on the inside, oh, can you see that there? I've got the handles, and that's also really well stuck. So I just had to start to about there. So these, if you needed little tiny bits, you could use these. Actually, you know, if you're making a tag and you just want a bit of you know, a little bit of brown paper ripped, there you go, you've got those. Just cut off this where it's got like about 4 layers and it's really thick and lumpy. And I guess you could probably use the handles with something. I don't know, I haven't thought of that yet, but anyway, taking those off. These bits I'll put into I'll collect those for my scraps, because I think that'd be nice, you know, still crunched again, and even just like that behind something. Oh, do you know what? That's a perfect size to make a snippet roll. Stuck everything on it. The ideas are endless. Right, so let's open this up. I tried to open it where it's been glued. There it is. Okay. And that little double bit, it's no good for what I'm needing it, these books, so that needs to come off. But that could still be recycled for something else. So now I've got this nice long tip, got Woolworths on that side. I was a bit worried that it would come through. The green I'm talking about. I'm not worried about the printing, but it doesn't. So perfect. Now the first thing I did was, well, I've cut mine to size. I'm just going to cut this along. Where will I cut it? What do I need it for? Because of course I'll finish this bit off and use it later. What if I just cut it there, because it's about the size of a A4 bit of paper. Do that later. There. Okay. So to get to, not that one, to here, where all of these ones are here ready for the class, I started by crunching it. Now I was gentle because I don't want all the edges to rip. This one, which was my very first piece, you can see I ripped it, but I will still use that because once it's glued down you won't notice. Or, you know, you could put a little bit of the leftovers behind it and you wouldn't see it. Okay, so I'm going to, that's the first bit. Now I'm using StazOn for my first layer, and this one is Timber Brown, and I just want to catch, just lightly, I'm catching the ridges of my wrinkles. Hey girls, Wrinkles are good in this instance. Right. That's cute. Now I'm going to scrunch it again, and I'm going to try and get different wrinkles. You can see I'm going near the edges there. Just, it's very therapeutic. What is it about screwing up paper that is very satisfying? Oh, sorry. Okay. Now, I've got different wrinkles are happening. Some of them are the same, but I'm just going to bring it out first. Of course, oh, sorry, there's the cockatoos going. I'm just going to go and close the door. They drive us insane. Can you close the door? Jenny, you're doing better over it, Mummy. Yeah, of course you do. Come on, darling boy. Okay. Right. Problem averted. As you start to scrunch it up, it's feeling a lot softer, of course, naturally. Right, I've opened that out, and I'm going to go in with that one again. Now, of course, depending on what your project is and the look you're going for, you could use any colours, but I've just gone for like a natural brown. So you can see I'm picking up different ones. Some of the same ones are getting a bit more. I'm not really worried too much about the edges because I did cut all of these pieces a lot bigger than what is needed for the books. Okay. Oh, and it just seems to, it's missing. It's missing out. Oh no. There we go. Okay. So, we actually had some nice weather on the weekend, amazingly. Put that down. And I went out onto the back lawn and I laid these all out. This is coffee, quite strong coffee, and let me get some paper towel. It's in a spray bottle, it's going to go everywhere. I don't want it to go over all my stuff or over this stuff which I'm about to do. And I had that all on the lawn, and then I just sprayed this with coffee. Now it's funny because I thought that it wouldn't make much difference because it's a brown paper bag, but it actually does. Now I left it on the lawn like that. Put that back. I need to make some more coffee. Okay. Ooh. I have to tell you girls, I actually hate coffee. I don't drink it. I don't like it. Can't stand the smell. But I do like the look it gives us on paper. Anywho, so I left it to dry like that. So you get all of these. Actually, once it dries, you actually can't see very much. Oh, there it's very dark on the edge. There, that one. Some of them blew over. So here you can see they puddled in the middle. Oh, this one. Here's a real puddler. Look at that. So it all puddled up. Just gives it that natural individual thing happening. Now I need to where can I take that, Teddy? Oh, we could go and put it over on Jennifer's desk because she's not here. She went back to uni this week. So I've got a few days to myself. I'm just going to, so that I don't spill it everywhere, and I can't put it on her desk. And that can dry until later. 2 seconds. baby wipe. I can't stand the smell on my hands. My husband loves coffee, but you know. Right. That's better. Make sure that's all off there. Okay, so fast forward, and that's all dry. Well, that one isn't dry. These ones are dry. And what I'm going to do is scrunch them up again. So these are all dried. They're feeling a bit, not quite as stiff as this, but back to being a bit stiffer. So, and I do have to be careful that I don't rip it. I'm going to fast forward. Actually, I'll probably cut this bit out so that you don't have to sit here and watch me scrunch up. I don't know how many pieces of paper I've got there. So I'll be back when I've finished scrunching. Right, I'm back up to the last. Just I'm doing the last one. I noticed that the bags aren't all equal. They obviously get them made in different places, and some of the brown paper was thicker than the others, and it didn't, let's see, didn't crinkle as much. See when I did the first layer, but makes no difference because all bits of leather are different anyway. So once I've squished them up, I'm going to bring them out again, and I'm just going to go in with my distress ink and pick up lots of all the wrinkles and you can see it's picking up because I've re-crunched it and creased it and had a fantastic stress relieving time of paper crunching. The wrinkle, they're different of course, and so it starts to get a bit of depth. And even give it a bit more I can come in with the stays on again. I am doing this fairly lightly so that, because otherwise the whole thing would just be covered with ink, wouldn't it? Right, I reckon that looks pretty good. Yes, what do you reckon? I think so. Now, I did find this one in my stash, and it was brand new. I hadn't even used it. I don't even know where I got it from. But anyway, I did put that on there. And I don't really like the red, but if you liked, you know, reds, or you could put blues and greens, any orange. But I just thought I'd show you what I'd done with that while the camera is off. Now, the fun part. I'm not going to go through and distress all of these in with you because that would be rather boring. So, I went to Chemist Warehouse here in Adelaide, and this was 1.1 litres for $5 something. It was even cheaper than I was about to go to the reject shop and buy some this is, sorry, this is just moisturiser. This is just a Sorbolene one. It doesn't matter what it is. And you can use moisturiser or you can use cheap conditioner. But this actually worked out the cheapest. So I looked at both. And because I was having to do so many for a class, I thought, well, I don't want to be spending heaps. Where is the open? Oh, there we are. So we're just going to put it on, spread her out. So you have really nice, well, they'll be brown because of course this dressing is water soluble. But the moisturiser or conditioner, whichever one you choose to use, breaks, it doesn't break down the fibres, because if it broke down the fibres your paper would all fall apart, but it does. It relaxes them and gives, that's why you end up with a piece that's very malleable. Can you hear that squishing? How satisfying. This takes you back to being a kid and playing finger paint and I mean, that's not that long for me, of course. It's only because I was a kindy teacher and, of course, had to do it every day. Oh, dear. So, now, that has to actually dry overnight, okay? So, I would let it dry with... Oh, I'm not going to flatten it because, of course, the next step is to do the gold. Luckily I've got one I prepared earlier. So that's going to, you can see like all of those wrinkles that were staying in there now that I've added this. It's really floppy. Actually, it feels like skin because it's not super thick. So, you know, maybe they could recycle it and you could use it for skin grafts. Just joking. Right. Or not. Anyway, that has to dry overnight. You can't, or I suppose you could dry it with a heat tool, but I'd be really, really careful because you don't know what extra ingredients are in there. So what has it got? Water, that's glycerin, ceteric acid, sorbitol, mineral oil, alcohol. Wow. Okay, so probably best not to heat dry it and just to let it dry overnight. And of course, once it's dry overnight, oh, look at that nice soft hands. We can go on to the gold. I have got a bit on my hands, so I'm going to have to wipe it off. Bit too much moisturiser on my hands, so we'll just take some off. And of course, remembering that it is moisturiser wherever you leave it to dry. Either put it on maybe get one of those, you know, if you've got a cheap plastic tablecloth or a garbage bag or something on the table, and so that it doesn't remain all, it doesn't get moisturiser onto things that you don't want it on. Okay, now let's just clean it off here. Imagine how messy I'm going to be when I've done the whole lot. Okay, let's get this bit. So this was the bit that is dried, the one that I ripped, but that's okay. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to screw it up again, and it's actually you can see that it's relaxing. I screw it up, screw this up, and it sort of only relaxes a little bit. Screw this up and it's it's really bouncy. Feels cool. It still feels like skin. Okay, so I've got sort of because I'm wanting to do that because I want wrinkles again so that I can catch it with the gold. Now I'm just going to use my finger because I think it's the best bit. This is so old. I've had this. Can you see it's all cracked and dried and whatever? So I just have to squirt it. To activate it a bit. That's because it just goes such a little bit goes such a long way. I've just never. It just seems to just keep on going and going. Okay. Right, so this is the last step before I would then let the gold dry and then start covering my book. So it's nice. Okay, so I'm just going to come in and touch the top of those wrinkles. I think the easiest way is just to like create the wrinkles as I go. Yes, it is. Okay, because that way I'm catching them as I. Oh, that's looking pretty cool, isn't it? You wouldn't believe it. Yesterday I was. I've been trying to clean up my scrap room. That's been going on for years. But anyway, I was putting something away and I thought, I looked over and I went, oh, what's in that box? And I had in this little box 48, do you remember the Luminart twinkling H2Os? 48 little pots, never used. This is what happens because I used to have a shop, of course. And but at least they're all different colours, no doubles. And I'd obviously thought, yeah, I'll use those. And I've popped them away safely. And I mean, they're not even made anymore, for goodness sake. Anyway, so yesterday I sorted them out. I activated them and did a swatch so that I could, because of course I can't even find the information about them. And so I don't know where the colours go. They're the type of watercolours that don't look the same when they're dry as when they're wet. So I had to swatch them all to put them in colour order. And my gorgeous hubby is going to make me a box so that they can all fit in there. And then my daughter and I will actually use them in our watercolours. And as it would, I was actually online looking at, now what's the lady's name? She does the most amazing watercolour art with metallic watercolours. And she makes her own. And I had actually been looking online, going, oh my goodness, you know, 4 paints, it's $100 Australian to get them here, well, to buy the set plus postage. And then I find these random ones actually in my stash. So we'll have to use those up first before. How's that looking? It's looking pretty cute, don't you reckon? So you can see what I'm doing. I'm thinking, okay, that needs a bit more there, and I'm squishing it up. Not with this, not with the gold finger, not with that one. And sorry, I might have to cut that out. And creating the wrinkles, ridges where I think it needs a bit more gold. I mean, on this one, like I really went to town, you know, as she adds more, because she's got it on her finger, so why not? It's because it does rub off. So you can see it's all rubbed off at the edges. where it's been in and out of my bag. So, but it was different on this because the paper being handmade and it's really thick and the wrinkles stayed there, but this one I have to create those wrinkles. So, and I would probably, you can dry this stuff with a heat tool, but because it's, I mean, obviously it's still got the moisturizer in it, I think I would just let it dry overnight. Anyway, mine will be all just drying anyway because I have got the whole lot to do for all the kids, and I'll just let them go. Oh, see, look at how cool is that? I keep on turning it around because, as you know, your perspective changes and it will look different, and you can see that it will need more bits here and there. Ah, that looks awesome. So this is the one that I had, but it's not tearing anymore. How it's weird. Can you tear it? Oh yes, you can still tear it. I know that if you use, I think you can use glycerin, just like straight glycerin from the chemist, but that's a bit more expensive, and I've got gold everywhere, just to match my 14-carat personality. When I finish this, I've got to go in and transpose some music for band. Otherwise I'll have nothing to play. Ah, this is very, very cute. So I know all the girls that are booked in will really love it. Be a fun workshop. Oh, you could just keep on going, couldn't you? Because of course, you know, of course, can you ever have too much bling? Well, maybe. But that's going to look very cute. So it's not quite the same as this, but very passable. And, you know, we've done it, well, I would have done it because, like I said, there won't be enough time in the workshop for everyone to do it. But, at least they'll have this video to go to if they want to do it again. I just love it. Looking so good. And I love that because I've, you know, re-squished it up with all the wrinkles. You're getting none of the three colours. The vintage photo distress ink or the timber brown stays on. They're all in different spots. That's quite cute. And it is, after all, supposed to be faux leather, so it doesn't have to be exact. would you be if you found a claim of gold like this? Because you could make this, oh, that just makes me think you could give it a stone look, you know, or a marble look by changing the colours, you know, and not using brown paper bag as your base, of course. Be lots of fun. Okay, I think that's enough. Otherwise, I could just keep going and going and going and going. And she's still going, even though she said that's enough. Mandy, 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 you're so silly. Right. Oh, it just looks good. I'm just going to colour that with my finger. So, like I said, I have to redo. I'll probably just put that cover over the top of that one. So there we go. There's my faux leather that ready for workshop. I've still got a massive big pile to do, and how cool is that? That is really cool. So if you're wondering what to do with your old shopping bags, especially because I don't know, in Australia they don't have plastic shopping bags anymore, so you have to get the brown paper ones or take your own material ones. I take my own material ones, but someone gifted me a bit. She goes, oh, you'll find something to do with these. And she obviously gets her shopping every week and that gets delivered with the bags. So yes, I'll have to tell her that indeed I have found something to do with all of the bags you gave me, so they haven't gone straight to landfill, even though they are recycled to start with. So yes, okay, come on Mandy, stop. Right, okay, I'm stopping now because I have to now do all of the conditioning of the other ones. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that little technique video, and I'll see you next time, and maybe even see you in a class, in a workshop at one of the libraries that I do workshops at here in Adelaide. Okay, have a great day, and I look forward to catching up with you next time. Bye.